Well, Tin, here we are, direct from the trailer, on location.
On location. That's
So,
great.
what are we going to be talking about today, Tin? Anything to do with your T-shirt, by any chance?
Oh, I think so. You know what, Norm? I'm cruising through life.
We certainly are.
So today we are going to talk about what shocked us about cruising.
Wow.
It's another one of those shockers, Norm.
I know it is. Why do we keep doing this? Well, we get good views, that's one way. Anyway, we're Tina and Norm, and we talk all things retirement and travel. And today is one of those travels. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be what shocked us about cruising.
It is. And we have done a lot of cruises, haven't we, Norm?
We have.
So this is based on what we have done.
We've done about 6 or 7 years worth of cruising, and so these are some of our observations about things that are changing with cruising, and what's shocking us. Well, it's not really. A few surprises along the way.
And one of the things we are certainly noticing is that they seem to be now charging for a lot of things that were free when we first started.
They do. It's going way more paid for use than...
Yeah, sort of little hidden charges.
Yeah, trying to wring every last penny out of their guests. One of the things that caught us out really from the very first cruise that we did was the high cost of shore excursions. And in the early days, our first few cruises, we would just book them with the cruise line. But then we started finding out that you could get them independent. And certainly when we went to Australia and New Zealand, we did have an extremely good wine tour in New Zealand that was private. And they guaranteed to get you back to the ship on time. So that was one thing. That
was that secret we wanted, wasn't it? Guaranteed to get us back to the ship.
That's right. And they were there ready to meet us. And to be honest with you, there was he had a minibus and it was full from our cruise ship. So we felt pretty secure in that.
Yeah, it was really good, wasn't it? And actually, it's funny, Norm, but on that same cruise around New Zealand, we were really surprised at when you went for dinner, and one night Norm looked at the menu.
I couldn't decide.
He didn't know what. I think it was either probably beef or lobster or something. There was 2 big choices that he wanted. So the waiter said, well, if you can't decide, have them both. And we were like, we were shocked, weren't we?
We were absolutely surprised
that somebody could order and get, and I assume they thought Norm possibly could actually eat 2 big dinners.
What I thought they were going to do was there was a steak and it was a lobster dinner as well. I just thought they were going to put the lobster on the steak and call it surf and turf, but no, I got 2 complete dinners with the dome thing on them, and put them on the table in front of me. It was curious. Anyway, on a cruise ship, you can order more than one entree or dessert or appetizer. We've even heard of people that just have appetizers. They don't bother with the main course. They just order 8 or 9 appetizers.
Whatever takes your fancy, hey, Norm?
It is.
One of the things that I was really surprised at was just how long it takes when we actually dock somewhere. Just how long it takes to get everybody off the ship who wants to go just either on a trip or just walk around. On some of the cruises we've been on, it can take up to a couple of hours before you're all actually allowed to get off the ship. And sometimes when you're in a port, you might only be there for 5 or 6 hours. That did really quite shock us, didn't it?
It did. It ate into the time on shore. And it's even worse with the tenders that you have to get onto the small lifeboats and they bring you ashore. And of course, people with high status on the cruise line, they get the first option. So There's a bit of a class system going on there. Anyway, how about the price of those drinks, Teen, on a cruise ship?
Oh, wow.
You can buy a bottle of wine for the price that they charge for a glass. So the last time we were cruising, it was about $10 for a glass of wine, and about $8 to $10 for a beer, depending on what you were having. And the other crafty thing that Holland America did is that that $7.50 to $8 for a Heineken used to be a 500 milliliter tall boy, as we call them here. Yeah. Well, on our last cruise, so I tended to have that. I ordered one, and for the same price, I got the 330 milliliter bottle. And they just said that they decided not to have cans anymore. So it was a smaller beer for the same price.
Norm felt very cheated, didn't you?
And the happy hour, don't get me started on the happy hour at Holland America. It used to be buy one, get one free. Then it was buy one, get one for $1. Yeah. And then it's buy one, get one for $2, the last time that we were on that.
Yeah.
So that's the disappearing happy hour. And you know we are absolutely passionate about our happy hours.
We love happy hour. Another thing too, Norm, hey, remember you used to be able to get the newspaper. They print off a daily newspaper for different countries, and they would deliver it to your cabin. So you could wake up, have coffee in your cabin and read the newspaper. Not anymore.
Used to be great.
Nope, you have to go down to the reception desk to get one, or they put them at the restaurants, don't they?
Yeah, the cafeterias where you help yourself.
But if you're deciding to have breakfast in your cabin, you don't get that little touch of luxury, do you?
No. And then the other absolute, this is terrifyingly shockingly, if there's such a word, was... So we were cruising primarily using the Carnival Cruise Line companies, so Holland America, etc. Yeah. So you could buy shares in the company and you would get a discount off your ticket. You'd get a room credit, either $100 or $250, depending on the length of the cruise. So us being in for a game, thought, okay, we'll buy 100 shares.
Sounded a good deal.
Yeah, $60 a share. Today, trading at $22. They did drop as low as 12. So that was a shock that $6,000
now it's only worth
$2,000.
And we're not even cruising at the moment to even use the credits.
No.
That was shocking, wasn't it? No. Do you remember when we first started, I used to love the fact that we got bathrobes and slippers in the cabin. Yeah. It was a little nice touch, was very nice, but not anymore. Now you've got to be a sort of junior suite or higher to be able to just get slippers.
And these are the throwaway slippers that you get like at a spa or something. Yeah. They're nice to wear, but they just last for about 2 weeks. But you have to have a suite now to get those. Yeah. And I think if you can afford a suite, you can probably afford your own slippers.
You can bring your own slippers.
And then Tina used to love going into the stateroom, and there would just be a little vase of flowers on the coffee table.
It was very pretty, wasn't it?
You've guessed it. No more flowers.
No, they've gone too. Oh, and there's another one which is very kind of close to our hearts too, because we do like to have variety of food that we're eating. So we do like to eat vegetarian.
In fact, during about 3 years of cruising, we were vegetarians. We've since fallen off the wagon, but...
So now we kind of eat everything. But at the time when we were there, you were kind of treated differently because...
Second-class citizen.
So there was a vegetarian menu, but only if you actually asked for it. But you had to order the day before. So say you'd go on Tuesday to get the menu, you're ordering for Wednesday night. Whereas everybody else, when they go for dinner on that Tuesday night, they can order the dinner
Whatever
they want. But for some reason, they seem to be incapable of advanced planning to be able to do vegetarian dishes. We found that shockingly disappointing, didn't we?
It was, especially with the trend of people
Yeah.
being more aware of what they're eating and
Yeah.
how popular vegetarian veganism had become. And they only did a token vegetarian meal on the main menu.
Yeah, I think maybe there was one dish,
There
wasn't there?
was. So you were stuck. You had no choice. If you wanted to eat vegetarian, you would have to have what they put on the menu, or wait.
An
as
order,
Tina said.
for the day after, which anyway was a little disappointing, wasn't it?
How about missing the boat, team?
Oh no.
You could quite easily miss the boat.
Yeah.
One of the things that we used to do would book our own air flights. Now, we always went down the day before, but you got to realize we're in Canada. We're flying down to either Miami or Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
And oftentimes there would be a snowstorm in Toronto or Ottawa. And so there is a risk that if you are not there, the boat will sail without you. But there is a workaround.
There is.
So we started with Princess Lines. They offered their own flights. So you could buy the flight and the cruise from them. And they would guarantee that you would get on the ship.
Yes.
You might have to go to the next port, but they would get you there.
So at least you wouldn't completely miss it, would you?
And to be honest with you, if you are coming from a winter climate, we found them quite competitive in price, especially going to Europe.
Yeah. Oh yes, they did. We actually went first class a couple of times, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh.
We're poor. So take a look at maybe booking your flight with the cruise company, and you'll be assured of getting onto that cruise in the event of bad weather.
Yeah. Or in the cases we were saying, we would always go down the night before, wouldn't we, to counter that fact.
Very much.
But we would like to say that cruising is a awesome, great way to see many
It really is.
destinations.
We loved it.
We are hoping to cruise again in the future, not sure when.
But if you are on a limited time frame, you can see 6 to 8 different destinations, different countries, within a 2-week period. And we loved that. We loved the experience of it. And we desperately miss cruising at the moment.
Yes.
But we're making no plans. We're not booking a cruise. We're just letting things evolve. We're keeping our eye on the cruising industry, on the news, and perhaps in 2022, 2023,
maybe.
we might consider getting back on the boat.
Because we've seen such awesome places, haven't we? That we fell in love with lots of them.
Absolutely, and met some absolutely fantastic people aboard cruise ships.
Yeah, that's a big plus.
It really is.
The nice people that you do meet on cruising and that you can have dinner with and spend your time with.
Yeah, we've done that quite often. So anyway, that's our shocking revelation of cruise ships. What shocked us about cruising. So thanks for watching.
And we hope everybody is staying safe.
And keeping well.
And until the next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.